What you're welcome. To the barber shop. You're welcome. To the barber shop. Showtime. That's what I'm texting. The world is watching. Either right now, live on Twitch TV at twitch.tv/podcast Barber, or at some point in the future on YouTube, or on our lovely website at barbershoppodcast.com. We are Barbershop Podcast, your number one source of real original live music, real original live musicians, the stories and the people that make life interesting. If you are a music fan, welcome back to the show. If you're a new viewer, welcome to the show. And as I do every week, I'm welcoming Ryan Cannon and Gary Greenland.
How's it going?
Joining me. Oh, you sound like you're down in the well.
I got because I'm down in the monitors. I got demoted out of the Apollo, so I don't get any.
Oh, right.
We're gonna fix that.
There's constantly, because Boxo Studio does a number of different things. We're doing films, scoring. Ryan's putting 5.1 on that, and he does video editing, and of course regular recording sessions. So the podcast layout, as you may have noticed, a little bit different. Where I'm sitting, been tweaking, and Ryan's brought a new box of computer in because he's doing a little swapping that way. It's constantly in a state of evolution, and it's always kind of great. And this week is no different on Barbershop Podcast. We feature real music, and by that I mean original music written and performed by the person who wrote it and who poured their heart and soul into it. And it is for so many people the very best kind of music, and it goes across the genres. You see on our shows, after 194 weeks you're going to get a little sprinkle of variety, and there's a lot of it here on Barbershop Podcast. Tonight's guest, Mr. Paul Sage, is in the house. Paul, Sammy Sage, his ego, his alter ego, his musicality, a guy roughly my age, from roughly where I'm from, who kind of approaches music in the same sort of way. I'm interested in finding out some of your stories tonight, but I want to welcome you to the studio. Thanks so much for coming in.
Oh man, I appreciate it big time.
Yeah,
it's neat how things fall into place, and effortlessly.
Yeah. So talk about that. We have a mutual friend with Bren out in Brantford.
Yeah.
Brenda Ann, and she's always been a great supporter of Barbershop Podcast. Love your girl.
For sure.
And putting people together, which is something she's good at. She's a good writer herself. Mm-hmm. And I was made aware of because the community. You're talking about, you make yourself available, you play with someone at an event to do something, your name gets noticed, eventually your music gets noticed, and then an opportunity like this to come on Barbershop Podcast, and you were like very upfront about wanting to be on and why you wanted to be on.
Yeah. yeah, you nailed it. Everything seems to be right on the head. And with Brennan and her endeavors, I've seen how everybody's working together. And a lot of it's through social media.
Yeah.
And they're. You just see it working, and like networking and people helping each other.
Yeah, and staying in the game, because like neither one of us are spring chickens, and there's probably, and certainly in my life, and I told you I was upfront with you when he came in. It was been a tough couple of weeks, and it's tough. And I was talking to my great friend Ginger St. James. She goes, doing anything, putting it together and having to go out every week, putting the jacket on every Wednesday and doing the show and being up for it. And you're like, brother, I totally get where you're coming from. Let's talk about your early influences on music. And, let's go back and what did music mean to you in the early days? When did you start becoming aware of it, and when did you start playing it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got a picture, and it's me 2 years old. I'm playing the guitar, buck naked. Got a pair of rubber boots on, right?
That look will still go.
I'm in my aunt's kitchen, and No, but that's really good. My father, he tried to ingrain in me country music, right? He liked all the hardcore country. And, but we'd go out on Sunday drives. I remember just being a little kid. I mean, you know, I'd be standing in the back seat, and I remember my first song I remembered was, Skeeter Davis. Her song, End of the World. Don't let them know. And that stuck with me.
Yeah.
But it was such a somber song.
Yeah.
And it seemed like sometimes somberness feels like comfort.
Yeah, well, very well put. Very well put. Certainly songs have the ability to take you to the time and place where you can remember who you were talking to, hanging out with, what you were eating, what you were wearing.
Yeah. It's
very immediate, and it's that ability to ingrain. You know, this is why kids won't learn the alphabet if it's not a song. Our life is kind of goes to a musical beat. When did you kind of take it to the next step? That is like the 11, 12, 13 to 15-year-old who's now forming a rock band with his friends.
Well, I started off, I think, with the Partridge Family and the Monkees.
Right
first.
on. Good stuff. I mean, those were professional songwriters. Those were pop songs in the days that were crafted, right?
Yeah.
They were catchy and people liked them.
And hee-haw.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah.
You had to keep Dad happy.
Yep. So that some of it's been ingrained. I've been trying to buck it. I've been trying to buck country sometimes, and I shouldn't, because I love it, and I love performing it. And actually, a couple songs I have tonight are country.
Great.
I think my dad'd be proud.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the first song you're going to play live. And I always ask the writer, the performer, if they want to talk about the song, or if they want the song talk for them, or because a lot of times it's real painful shit, right? And people don't want to talk about it. But other times if there's interesting wordplay, or there's something that brings back where they were when they wrote it, that's really nice for the people who are hearing it for the first time.
Well, no, I don't mind. I might jump
here and there,
and forget some things, but bear with me. All right, and I have no problem with discussing some of my past endeavors with music, and back in the '90s, and with a group called Hugs and Hope, and Hugs and Hope. Me and this fellow Dave Rourke became a really good friend, and him and I we put together a volunteer-based program, and we people help all over the place, and got to really see how the other half lives. There's some really good people out there, and you know, it's not all about negativity and stuff. But we used to go and play in schools and in different institutions, and just talking about peace. Bottom line, you know, peace and love, as corny as it might sound, you know, it was keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Best thing, and the basics. And one song I'm going to be doing tonight, it's called Simplicity.
Okay. Is that the first one you're going to do tonight?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and pick up your guitar. Right. I'm going to let you know where you can get a hold of some of his music. You got a website, or should they just social media you?
I don't have a website, no.
I have a website. So this is great.
You can Facebook me, and I'll friend anybody.
Yeah, and this is great because it's real music from real people. And you always say, track them down. I've got CDs. I can hook you up and get you some of this.
Thanks for yours too, Kevin.
Oh no, for sure.
I really appreciate that, man.
Because when I saw what he was doing, and we're going to talk about this later, about music as an agent of change and music as a healing force, and how much we both believe in that. And I gave him the link for the Barbershop podcast that we did about the Shameless Subversion mental health record, and you were like right on board right away. You said, "Yeah, I like where this is going." So it's a pleasure to actually meet you in person now.
Oh, and back at you.
All right. So this is Simply Simplicity.
Simplicity.
Right here, right now. BarbershopPodcast.com.
I heard all people that we are all equal, and it doesn't matter the color of your skin. There'll be no more taking or wars in the making. It all comes down to simplicity. All right, it's finally coming, and peace is coming back down to earth. All right, tonight, just hang on to it tighter. We'll see everything that we heard. All right, it's finally coming, and peace is coming back down to earth. All right, tonight, just hang on to it tighter. We'll see everything that we heard. Head on with life. It's not all so bad, and it's not all what it's cracked up to be.
That's Paul Sage with Simplicity, a beautiful song, and positivity. I'm a big believer in that. It's so easy to flip to the negative, to be reactive, to be defensive, to be, susceptible to your fears, ruling your perceptions. Have you had to kind of make a journey to get to the point of enlightenment, or is this something that you kind of,
Well, I've been on that path towards, I think, that, and never quite achieving it, and it's kind of elusive to have perfection, and in the understanding of that we all screw up in life in one way or other, and sometimes it's about just getting through it and surviving, and but nothing better, I believe, is power of people.
Yeah, it's true. Once you start getting more than one person together and building on that, that's to feel that kind of power build, right?
Oh yeah, I think everybody's self-esteem grows.
Yeah, and you serve yourself by being selfless, kind of in the long run. When you see that how tiring and how difficult it is to be bitter, to live like that with resentments and bitterness, and you get to the point. And especially in this business, in music, keeping it positive and keeping the message reinforcing what people need to hear. And I'm glad that you're doing it anyway. You've got a project, talk about that, about how music has kind of worked its way into your life, into almost, and I don't want to use the word gospel, but it's the way that you can communicate the message to those most in need of it.
Well, edutainment.
Edutainment, I like it.
I think that's be the maybe a coin word, and it's about self-awareness and expressing yourself, right? What gifts that we've been given, and not necessarily by God.
Yeah. And I think that having faith and having faith in something is important, because when you don't have hope and when you don't have faith, that's just when life becomes untenable. We lost too many people who feel that they're in that spot. where they're absolutely alone. And, you know, music a lot of times is great because everyone has a mixtape when they're at the low point in their life. Just as music reminds us where we were at a certain point in time in life, it can also be incredibly communicative for someone going through something to realize that, hey, I'm not the only one who's been down this road.
Bingo. And the blues.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
And, I know I've been through a lot of not so successful endeavors, and going through life, but I've always had a conscience, you know, of trying to change myself before I can try to be trying to change anybody else.
But at the same token, you need to go forward, and if you spend too much time navel gazing, you don't get traction. Sometimes you need to have a faith at a point in time in what you're doing is right, if not righteous.
You know, that's it. Eh? You don't want, nobody wants to be labeled as self-righteous and what have you. But I think, and I've seen this. I've seen it happen with hundreds of assemblies in the schools that we used to perform and do our edutainment presentation, and kids would be hugging afterwards,
yeah.
Right? Like auditoriums full of kids hugging, and then we used to go down to the armed force bases up and down the East Coast, and we do our little presentation and concert and self disclosure, and seen some beautiful people. Some really beautiful people, caring people, unconditional people. That's the coolest thing. With when I was doing this, it was unconditionality. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
I like the word. If it's not one, then you're going to put a copyright on that thing. Unconditionality.
Yeah. But I got to see how the other half lives, because from the half that I was getting familiar with was pretty depressed.
Yeah.
Right? And I kind of look at the world as there's, the problem and there's the solution. And I try my hardest to be part of
the solution, as I think we all should be, and don't be too hard on yourself, right?
But hell, I'm human too.
Yeah.
Everybody, right? We can't.
It's okay. We're allowed to fuck up. It's true. We do it all the time around here, do we not, Ryan Cannon? Yes, we do. Speak for yourself.
So we can
That's
try
what
to go forward,
he's texted
right?
to me. Yes. Speaking of going forward, we're going to play a track off of the Simplicity CD. The first one is called As You Wish. Is there a story you wish to impart on this one?
This one, it's a little more deeper than when I wrote it. I was thinking, what if God really got pissed off? If there is such a God, and you got, what would happen?
Yeah.
And so I kind of just wrote it, and I think it's one of my deeper ones, like I was saying, and I had some fantastic support with my backing musicians on there. Yeah. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, don't dig too far in. Let them find out. I love it. Right here. This is As You Wish. God Pissed Off on barbershoppodcast.com.
What you don't need, you shouldn't take. But you say it's for Christ's sake, yet you ask for more. Enticed by earthly charms,
You got up and sold the farm up the river shore. And the ones here that got hurt, I know you're not the first. There'll be many more. But the ones that walk this truth, some are old, some are youth. Claim me as your Lord. I implore you. Oh, you babies, with all your sacred toys. But then just maybe that you'll rejoice someday. You'll pray, save me. Oh, what a noise. But till you praise me, you don't have a choice at all. But the time that it might take, it's hard to have blind faith when the odds seem low. Please sit still and try to wait. Learn to love and not to hate. It will ease the blow. One needs to go around. That's why you're placed upon the ground, to show I live. So try to pass us on. I promise that you will live long, and I forgive you, all my children. Oh, you babies, with all your secret toys. But then just maybe that you'll rejoice someday. You'll pray, save me. Oh, what a noise. But till you praise me, you don't have a choice at all. It's hurting me inside and I feel I'm getting used. I tell you from my heart, but you tear my heart apart. It hurts like hell and the tears are gonna start. I'll show you once again, it all comes from within. The idols that you praise, it's all man-made. From the inside you can heal, you can stain or you can kneel. I'll show you what is real, it's all feelings that you feel. What you don't need, shouldn't take, but you say it's for Christ's sake, yet you ask for more.
All right, that's Paul Sage with As You Wish here at Barbershop Podcast. Want to give a shout out to our great friends and sponsors over at HamiltonArtist.ca. They got new digs at 627 Main Street East. So I went over and took some pictures there. It's just amazing. Of course, with the computer switch, we didn't have time to load them in. We'll have those pictures next week. But let's suffice to say it's about 3 or 4 times as big as the original store. Absolutely loaded with anything you wanted, printed on anything. You're talking hats, T-shirts, buttons, mouse pads. My daughter was with me. She was going around. The walls are just filled with things. It is overflowing. They've got people working there on your ideas to turn that into reality. You can, check them out. You can get Barbershop Podcast stuff. You can get hoodies and hats. You can set up an account with them. It's unbelievable the way this business has changed, and they are professionals over at HamiltonArtist.ca. It's a Hamilton business, right? It's not a chain. You're not getting your cards or your posters or whatever. They have like etching machines. You can bring in a picture of yourself and have it on your own guitar or whatever you want. You know, the flexibility is not afforded anywhere else. They're at 627 Main Street East here in Hamilton, Ontario. Check them out. Their phone number, I'll shoot it to you. But of course, their link is right here on our page. Go check them out. 289-396-1653. All right. Paul Sage is in the house. And we're speaking of songs of great import and songs of reverence, songs of something. Do you feel anytime kind of bound if I have to carry a message of positivity, it naturally has to be associated with a spirituality, and therefore now I'm a spokesman or I'm a cheerleader? Do you kind of ever like wonder about how much am I writing from what I want to write as opposed to what maybe I have to write?
That's a good question, Kevin. Let me ponder that for a bit.
It's a little chewy on it, right? Because I'm sure you probably do got a little book of sad songs and heartbreakers and tear renderers and ones, it's like maybe not too many fuck this shit kind of songs, but stuff that still has, that kind of carries the weight of being.
Well, I think that's where some of the country in me my dad's coming out of me.
I think you've dropped your mic. You've crushed it with your guitar. Something down into the confines of Paul Sage's stomach is his lavalier microphone. It's gone all the way down. You don't want to hear what it's going to record in the next couple of seconds while it works its way back up. So I have to be careful with the guitar. People with beard hair, we tell them not to do this because it's very ruffly if it's with those microphones. And likewise, if you're having the guitar on your lap, you have to be careful not to bash it or to use it as a conversation piece to kind of drum on it while you're talking. And you wouldn't think it because it's not that loud, but when the microphone's right next to it, it's huge loud. But we're good to go now.
So where were we again?
That's exactly. I was just spieling along. Just talking about songs of positivity and what what the kind of weightiness you feel you have to put, especially if there's an element of divinity within the music. Do you write from a religious standpoint? And is this kind of like part of your mandate when you write?
Well, it seemed to me I was a lot clearer and a lot more precise. And when I was writing songs, mostly back in the 90s, I went through a period of time where I went through recovery and of different kinds. And so I went totally clean and sober for a period of time in the 90s. And I quit cigarettes, and I quit the recreationals, and I quit booze, and then I always had a little bit of trouble though with the grass, and I always had that one toe dangling.
But were you in a program where the religious element was part of the recovery process?
Yeah, I've been through 12-step programs, and now a lot of people might not realize that a 12-step program, there's also 12 traditions, and one of them is trying to stay anonymous, where there isn't people out representing
themselves, or the organization, right?
It's kind of
I see that, right? I want the intelligence in that, right?
Well, yeah. But through that time, it seemed a lot easier for me to write. Nowadays, I've been getting back into my music, period, but I'm starting to write again. And it's not coming so easy. And
it's a process at the best of times, right? Writing.
It's a process, yeah. And now the spirituality part of it, I've seen it happen. I've literally seen it happen with all these people that the other half, and it was a really good thing. And I like to see it happen again, and just people helping each other. And no, because like I've played churches over the years. I gave up on music pretty much back when a judge once said to me, it's not a good place for me to be.
Yeah.
Playing in bars and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that back when I was 21 years old. But I want to keep on playing and writing, and but I want to be an all-encompassing artist also.
Well, you don't stop. And they say with guitar players, and the same things with writing. You don't quit. You just put it down for a while, and then it may be, it's like going back to the gym. It's a little more of a grind for the first little while coming back, but it's in you. You're unsettled when you're not doing it. I went through a period where I was like having a struggle, and I realized I hadn't been picking up my guitar at all. And I got them all over the place, right? Yeah. So I have no excuse for not just putting in 15, 20 minutes and having that process at least lubricate itself, where now it's not so squeaky getting the inertia of songwriting. Well, it's interesting. So the songs that carry kind of the heft of the day on it, there's going to be elements that is still you, but you're an older person with a slightly different perspective, and you're probably, as much as anyone, looking forward to what comes out the other end when the writing process kind of yields its results.
Well, I was once told any good writer keeps on writing and writing and writing, and not being so concerned if anybody else is going to see it or hear it, and just keep on doing it and doing it. Sometimes I get tired of it, and I can put it away for a few years, and so yeah, there is a different perspective now. Got over that decade, say, and what do they call that? Hindsight.
Sure.
2020.
Someone says. Apparently, it comes in handy.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to keep on writing, and I'm always looking for new topics to write about. Yeah. I like having the topic to focus on now.
Yeah, writing tasks are neat because they kind of get you the hardest part. You've got it done. What you're going to write about.
Like, I couldn't believe it. I ended up I was 50 something, and I went back to college, but I had to take a college English class, and I got like 32%.
It's like at college. Yeah. They're not renowned for their English department. So.
I know, but I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand why. Everybody else from foreign lands were there,
doing all right.
and they're getting 90s.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to play another live one for us. What's next up in line?
Oh, okay. This one is about just being who you are, right? And acceptance, that unconditionality.
Yeah. All right.
An acceptance of... I'm not much of a talker. I'd rather sing.
All right. He's going to sing for you right here, right now. BarbershopPodcast.com.
Waiting in the wings. If you want me, please show me something I can believe. Then hold me, don't mold me into someone I don't want to be. Accept me, don't reject me. I'm not looking for sympathy. Don't deny it, first let's try. If you're looking for something in me, someone like me, someone like you. Some monkeys see, some monkeys do. Reflections of me I see inside you. So I'm waiting in the wings, wanting to try. someone like me, someone like you, and some monkeys see, and some monkeys do. Reflections of me I see inside you. So I'm waiting in the wings, wanting to try. If I want you, I'll show you something that you can believe. I'll hold you, won't mold you into someone you don't wanna be. I'll accept you, won't reject you. Are ya looking for sympathy? Don't deny it, first let's try. If you're looking for something in me, someone like me, someone like you, some monkeys see, and some monkeys do. Reflections of me I see inside you. So I'm waiting in the wings, wanting to try, wanting to try.
So good. Paul Sage right here on Barbershop Podcast. Real original live music every week, in and out. Closing in on the mighty 200, a magic number of episodes in the world of podcasting. Bringing music, someone like Paul Sage, to you, his story, his tunes. And we also give you all sorts of great advice, like getting your taxes done. By Heather. Look at there. I could see with the guilt in your face. You got years stacked up, 5 years. That could be like $2,500 waiting for you. The government wants to give you that money. It's not too late. Get them done. By taxes done right, late returns can be filled. You can avoid the costly penalties. And you can get probably still going to receive credits and refunds that you deserve. May still. It's all the questions. It's about how hard you dig. They're great over there. Then they're used to working with musicians. So if you've got all sorts of bumbled and rumbled receipts here and there and everywhere, in the shoebox, you can get that done and get that thrown at them, and they will throw it back and at the government in a nice, stacked, orderly fashion. Well worth it. You tell them that you're a friend of the show, and you're going to get a discount. That's all you got to do. Check them out. Taxes done right. There's their link over there. Boom. All right, Paul Sage is in here. We're going to play another tune off of the record. This next one is Humble Bumble, which was my little segue in the commercial. You see what I'm doing there. This got a little story that goes with it.
Humble Bumble? Well, I shouldn't say everybody, because a lot of people don't know who Humble Bumble is. I mean, anybody remember the Abominable Snowman?
Yes.
In Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the claymation show. There's Humble Bumble. And, he was toothless, and because he got his teeth pulled by the elf dentist.
Yes.
And, but no, the song's not about
any of that. It just sounded pretty great. Thanks for wasting our time. Not really. All right, Paul Sage, Rumble Bumble here, Humble Bumble, barbershoppodcast.com.
And your hair's right in its place. Bite off your nose, spite of your face. Wonder why all you've tried leaves you frustrated. You're always right, bang on of course, then off you ride on your high horse, and all the while you just smile, you're high in your saddle. In a humble bumble day, so strange, so mundane, then you wait till it blows you away, leaves you wanting more. crash might burn enough to make you humble. In a humble, bumble day, so strange, so mundane, then you wait till it blows you away, leaves you wanting more. One can take, won't you have it taken away? Then you say that is for my sake. It's your survival.
Paul Sage in the studio. That is some Humble Bumble off of his Simplicity CD. Great song. And a great host tonight, getting into it. When, your performance has been shattering, to say the least. You've lit up the room like both Ryan and Gary and I have been affected by your performance. Let's just say that. I am... But those guys are affected all the time anyway. It's hard to tell. They're deeply affected. You're going to do another live one as we're bopping between recorded and live tunes. And what are you playing on that lovely Guild acoustic with a triangular sound hole and the great sound? What are you doing for us?
Yeah, it's been doing me some good. My last one got stolen.
Yeah, don't
Nothing
you love that?
much I hate worse than thieves.
Thieves, especially someone's tools, and especially a tool of the heart, like a guitar.
So if I see anything on Facebook, people posting that their guitars are stolen,
Yeah.
and I'll put it out there too.
Yeah, me too.
And sometimes it helps.
Yeah, sometimes it helps. I've seen a couple cases where people have been reunited with their instruments. Never buy something that looks too good to be true, right? Someone's offering you a Strat for $200, a real deal, or someone offering you a Les Paul, no questions asked, then you should ask questions, or you should say no. Let someone else carry that bad mojo around. You do not want to inherit what comes with a stolen instrument. It's well known. That's bad stuff. Okay, good stuff. What are you going to play for us now, brother?
Actually, I'd really like to do this country song called My Little Boy.
Okay.
And I wrote this. I was on a tour of Nova Scotia, and with that Hugs and Hope, and we were playing in the military bases and the families for the military, and but we go into the schools too, and I was going through some issues at this time. I was starting to look. I was starting to go deep and doing an inventory of myself, right? And so I was going through some changes, divorce, that separation from the kids, that whole ordeal.
Torture.
It is. But I got to write about it and stuff. But the song's My Little Boy, and so it's sort of about my boys, my inner boy, that inner child.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and a little bit about my dad.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to hear it right here, right now on barbershoppodcast.com.
Yeah, I wrote this because everything came to me all at once. As I was sitting in the hotel room, I ordered a pizza, and by the time the pizza got there, I had the song written. And
I've been a fool to resist him now. My little boy wants to play, even though he knows all the rules by now. He just can't come out today. He's been told to Keep quiet now, he's so neatly tucked away, sheltered from this mean old world somehow. He's hiding in yesterday. Even though he's feeling nothing at all, he seems to cry every day. And I know when he's alone at night, needing the guts to say, just hang on, hold me tight, please don't go away. I just say goodnight, but my little boy wants to play. I should let him decide to come on out, see what's right. It's not such a bad life after all. Come on now, let's have some fun. Where it starts, where it all begun. The sun is shining, wish these blues would move away. And I'm alone, doing whatever I please to. My boy's alone, not doing what he needs to. Wish we'd come home together, and all the things we've been through. You never know what all this could lead to.
Boy, that is a personal story with a universal message, and those are the best ones, right? When you can reach in and pull something out that someone else somewhere is feeling, and now because of the interweb, they can actually hear it.
It's good to be feeling again.
Yeah, it takes it out of you, and
It does.
It's exhausting. People don't understand that when you're affected by a performance. When something grabs you, it's because there is actual energy that's coming off the stage that the person is tapping into, and it is quite draining. I've seen it.
Well, you can't bleed all the time.
Yeah, especially if, like I said, that's a touchstone. Well, thank you for sharing it with us. We're going to play another one that's probably going to segue nicely into this. This is called Blind Faith. Does it have a message that
it's just being happy, a little bit of gratitude, and just sticking it out and getting through it and being patient. So I would say delayed gratification.
Lovely. All right, wait for it. It's going to be, the payoff will be way, way better. And I've known that to be true. All right, Blind Faith, Paul Sage, barbershoppodcast.com.
Yeehaw! I've been sleeping with my one eye open, been dreaming of you as of late, and I've been hoping that my corresponding that you want me. I guess I'll just wait. Since I met you, I've been running on instincts. You wouldn't let me have my own way, and I've been trying to live within my skin, and lately I'm going on blind faith. I know the past hurts when we dig in the dirt. Yeah, yet we're still standing. We might freak out and fall, bounce back off of brick walls, and we might be alone, and it's not all our fault. Whoa! I've been wanting you like crazy, but I guess I'll get what I need within you. I see God's beauty beside you is where I wanna be. I know the past hurts when we dig in the dirt, yet we're still standing. We might freak out and fall, bounce back off of brick walls, and we might be alone, and it's not all our fault. Since I met you, I've been running on instinct. You wouldn't let me have my own way, and I've been trying to live within my skin, and lately I'm going on blind faith, and lately I'm going on blind faith.
All right, Blind Faith from Paul Sage, tonight's guest on Barbershop Podcast. Thanks for coming on relatively short notice. You know, it's like that. I had someone lined up. It was a sweet guest, this year's HMA Rising Star winner, and she got the dreaded summer cold and had to reschedule for later on. And it's like, who have I been talking to? It's like Paul.
Happy to help out.
Yeah, I'm really glad.
Happy, yeah. It's been pretty neat.
It's a tough business because you really have to have your ego in check, but it has to be right out there too. You can't be a shrinking violet in this, and people are quite often introverts in a very extroverted business.
Well, that's it. I'm very introverted. I'm very quiet. Ask anybody that around me. I can ponder and sit and think and be content doing that. And so yeah, but that's when I'm being introverted, but I'm just recharging my batteries also to be extroverted.
Feels good to stretch though, and start getting those familiar feelings again as an artist and a performing artist.
Well, even coming just
you're performing.
This.
You're worldwide.
Oh, man. I was walking around the block having a smoke. Get
yourself up.
Oh no.
We're the big leagues now, Ryan Cannon. We are by far the number one podcast out of Hamilton, Ontario, of any type, let alone music. We got that thing covered.
Hamilton, oh yeah, isn't it?
It's an amazing town, and it's
I've
like
been
it's
watching.
endless.
I've been learning about Hamilton, and I've just moved to Hamilton like almost a year and a half now. But I'm seeing what's going on in the music scene, and the people and the quality of these different musicians that are coming through and from here, homegrown Hamilton, and I mean I've been paying attention to this, and I think we're very it's very beneficial.
Yeah, it is beneficial. We are truly blessed, and we just need to continue to value what we have, invest in what we have. Okay, I'm talking to you, municipal politicians. This is not just merely an economic driver. This is not a product. No other industry would you expect it to be self-supporting without any kind of help whatsoever. This is an industry that you want to avail yourself of and cash in on. Then it should be a fertile ground. A lot of times the gigs don't pay and they're not available and they're not there. And it's because the people aren't coming out, and there's enough people who will come out, but just with the ebb and flow of what happens with people's options for entertainment, you have to be more creative and you have to get a word out to a larger chunk of people, so a ever shrinking maybe live music audience will still be reached. But you have to do a better job of letting people know, like we do here at Barbershop Podcast, of what's out there, just a little sample. And we certainly haven't covered all the bases yet. We'll do 1,000 shows before we're getting close. All right, Paul Sage. That's my ranting. You're gonna do one more live one, I think, or do you want to end with a live one? You want to do another recorded one now and then finish with a live one? What do you want to do?
Well, I do want to share this one.
All right. Okay.
Because I like to play and entertain, and I also have a kids CD I did way back then, and but this one song I wrote is called Joe Martian, and Joe, well, you see, he's green, and he's being picked on, and it's all, you know.
But it's not going to be the Bugs Bunny version where he comes in and atomizes everyone.
Yeah.
No. All right. Yeah. Paul Sage, right here, right now, barbershoppodcast.com.
Well, I just met a friend the other day. He lives here now, but he's from far away. He's a little different from what we've seen. He talks kind of funny and he's kind of green. But that's okay. 'Cause we believe, we each believe. We respect what we each can see. We're free to be who we want to be. Together, together. My green friend, well, he's been pushed around. He's trying to stand, but yet he gets knocked down. He's laughed at by lots of folks. They say mean things and call them jokes, but they're not funny. And we believe, we each believe. We respect what we each can see. We're free to be who we want to be. Together, together. My pal Joe, well, he's been talked about. Some people laugh, some people scream and shout. If they'd take time and look him in the eyes, they'd see that Joe's a pretty cool guy. And he has feelings. And we believe, we each believe. We respect what we each can see. We're free to be who we want to be. Together, together. My pal Joe.
Don't be picking on no Martian. He's a good lad, my pal Joe. And it's good, I think. We've talked before on the show about like Pete Seeger and what he had to do when he was being shut down for his the politics, and about him talking about us sharing and loving one another and the evils of the corporations. And he couldn't get a gig, so he went into the YMCA camps and all the kids' camps up and down and started playing these innocent little songs that became earworms, and so many children who became older and became leaders during the 60s in an era when they needed people to stand up and say, this is bullshit. Now, how are you going to get that message across where it's the same message that I've heard that you've heard, because it came there, the power of song, and people do make light of it and think, oh, pshaw, it's only a song. But my God, if anything's going to have dire impact, it's through a song.
I remember playing that song. I was in Niagara-on-the-Lake. There's like a rotunda out by the river, Niagara River in Lake Ontario. And me and my friend Dave, we had our guitars out, and we were out by ourselves, and we were just feeling down. Nothing was happening. We were out trying to promote ourselves through Niagara-on-the-Lake and getting sponsorships and what have you. And it just wasn't a good day. And so we went down to the rotunda and we sat there with our acoustic guitars. Well, 2 busloads pull up, and all these kids got off the bus, and they all like in wheelchairs and like some of these wheelchairs, they had a keyboard attached to it. And this is back in the 90s yet, and for the kid to be able to communicate, yeah. And I tell you, we start playing. We picked up our guitars, and they formed a circle around us on the rotunda. We played, and I felt, and I know Dave too, that was with me. Our feet were off the ground.
Felt an incredible sense of purpose and just that energy getting fed back to you. It's incredible, and that's a great story. I can totally, and you needed it at that point in time, right? Kind of came to you right when you needed it. So stay in there, stay in the game. It's one more day, one more hour. Things could change entirely. It's important that you don't give up in all of this. Don't let the dark side creep in. Stay in the light, as we like to say. Now we're going to do another tune off the CD called We'll Be Around. And this is the last one they're going to hear off of Simplicity, which if you track Paul Sage down and tackle him, he will sell you one.
Simply that.
Simply that. So we'll be around. Let it play.
Let it roll.
Let it roll. Barbershop Podcast.
So confusing, hang tough when you feel you're losing. Call, we'll be around. When things have all turned sour, hanging there for one more hour. Call, we'll be around. We'll be around. Drop in when you're down. Feel the way you do. When you want to cry out loud. Yeah, we'll cry along.
And that's
Yeah, so that's skipping a lot.
that's skipping a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
We're gonna edit that back in later.
It's in the show. I edit nothing.
Right, and it's nothing. It
Sorry,
may seem
I don't
it's
know what happened.
it's so slick.
My apology.
Yeah,
My
I'm
apology.
really disappointed in you, Paul. It
We
was
can-
all so
we can
good
try
right up to
again
that
if you
moment.
want. Do you want us to blow on it and try again?
Yes, of course. Do the Nintendo trick
Blow
and make
on
sure
it,
there's not a
Gary.
thumbprint on it. If there's a big Gary thumbprint on it, I want a picture taken of that, though, because that's going on as permanent record. And
It looks pretty good. I don't know what happened.
not the Morants.
brand new.
Don't tell me the Morants is giving up the
Might
ghost.
be.
No,
Might be.
it's in the best part of its life.
What do you think, Gary? What?
Is Gary willing to give it a shot?
There's a nice little peek behind the curtain here everybody's getting.
Ooh.
All right, let's try it.
All right, here it is. We'll be around.
Oh,
Paul Sage,
what if it doesn't play?
barbershoppodcast.com.
When life looks so confusing, hang tough when you feel you're losing. Call, we'll be around. When things have all turned sour, hanging there for one more hour. Call, we'll be around. We'll be around. Drop in when you're down.
I think it's
Feel the way
Barbershop Podcast. It's good
Yeah,
stuff, though.
It's not happening.
It's not happening, but it was happening for
But
us.
everything else was awesome.
It was. Everything really was. So glad you came in and joined us tonight. Paul Sage
Hey, thanks a lot,
came in.
guys.
He's moved from where I went to high school, St. Catharines, became a Hamiltonian. You're here now. You're availing yourself of the wonderful opportunities here in Hamilton, and I'm glad you're back in the scene. I'm glad I've now met you and count you as a friend. Thanks so much for coming in.
And thanks for making me comfortable, man.
Thank you. All right, Ryan Cannon, Gary Greenland. We are back next week. I don't know. I booked a whole bunch of shows last week, so I can't even remember exactly who it is, but I know we have someone, as we do every week, right here on Barbershop Podcast. Take care.
Can't you see what kind of shape I'm in?